Hello to all dear viewers. In today's video, we are going to review and analyze the anime and manga Monster. Please subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to support us. Before we start exploring the anime and manga Monster, let's give a brief introduction to this masterpiece. Monster is a psychological, mystery, and thriller genre manga written by Naoki Urasawa. It has been adapted into an anime series by Madhouse and is considered one of the greatest anime of all time, with a rating of 8.87 on my anime list. This work is truly remarkable and stands out in its character development. Each character in Monster follows a unique thought process. The two main characters of the anime are Dr. Kenzo Tenma, symbolizing good, and Johann Liebert, symbolizing absolute evil. The story of Monster begins when Dr. Tenma, a successful surgeon, saves the life of a young boy in a car accident. However, he later discovers that this boy is a monstrous being. Overwhelmed by guilt, Dr. Tenma decides to find and stop him. Johann Liebert is the central focus of the anime's story. He is a child who, due to a tragic childhood, transforms into a monster. There are two types of monsters in life. The first type is something we may have imagined as children, something we were afraid of hiding under our bed or in the closet. However, they do not actually exist. The second type is the one that adults fear, the monsters that truly exist. Johann Liebert is one of those second type of monsters. A human trapped in the body of a monster, or perhaps a child imprisoned in the body of a monster. Johann is also a genius. His unparalleled plans for murders and crimes often deceive even the greatest detectives in the story. Johann's purpose in life is to awaken the hidden monster within each individual. Now let's delve a little deeper into the story of Monster and examine it from a philosophical and psychological perspective. Carl Jung, a Swiss philosopher and psychiatrist, has an interesting theory about the shadow in personality. The shadow is a part of the personality that has been cast away due to ignorance, fear, shame, or lack of love. It is the part of yourself that you do not want to acknowledge. The shadow is the darker aspect of your being. With this theory, you can better understand Johann's motives and mindset. And what happened that transformed Johann into a monster? The answer to this question lies in Johann's painful past. The experiments conducted on him and his twin sister by a person named Franz Bonaparte, and something else that led Johann to become a monster. A story called The Nameless Monster, written by Franz Bonaparte, from which Johann chose his name. Now let's take a look at this story. Once upon a time, in a distant land, there lived a nameless monster. The monster suffered greatly, and hence sought a name for itself. For this reason, it decided to embark on a long journey to find a name. But the world was vast. The monster split into two parts, each taking a separate path. One went west, and the other went east. The monster that went east came across a village. A blacksmith lived at the entrance of the village. The monster said, "Mr. Blacksmith, please give me a name." The blacksmith replied, "I cannot give you my name." The monster said, "If you make me stronger, then I will give you my name." The blacksmith agreed, and the monster entered the blacksmith's body, and the monster transformed into Ottovan Blacksmith, becoming the strongest man in the village. But one day, he said, "Look at me, look at me. The monster inside me has grown and become bigger." And with these words, the hungry monster devoured Ottovan Blacksmith from within. Once again, it became the same nameless monster, despite being inside the body of Hans the Cobbler. Higgledy-piggledy, malarkey-moolarkey, shout-shout, gobble-die-gook. And once again, he transformed into the same nameless monster. Even though the monster entered the body of Thomas the Hunter, higgledy-piggledy, malarkey-moolarkey, shout-shout, gobble-die-gook, and once again, he transformed into the same nameless monster. The monster entered the castle to find a marvelous name for himself. Inside the castle, a sickly boy lived. The monster said, "If you give me your name, I will give you my power in return." The boy said, If you make me strong and healthy, then I will give you my name." And the monster entered his body. The boy became very, very strong. The king was very pleased. The prince became strong. The prince became kind. The monster fell in love with the boy's name. He fell in love with life inside the castle. Despite his hunger, he stayed there. Every day he got hungrier and hungrier, but he remained there. But one day, he became very, very hungry and said, "Look at me, look at me. The monster inside me has grown and become bigger." The boy went to the king, the servants, and all the people inside the castle and devoured them. Higgledy-piggledy, malarkey-moolarkey, shout-shout, gobbledygook, since no one was left. The boy went on a journey. He walked and moved for days and days. One day, the boy saw the monster that went west. The boy said, "I have a name. I have a very beautiful name." The monster that went west said, "You don't need a name. You can be happy without a name, for we are nameless monsters." The boy devoured the monster that went west. Although he found a name for himself, there was no one left to call his name. Johann. Truly, it was a marvelous name. Johann witnessed how humans with dual identities and values could bring devastation upon themselves. He saw how his mother, someone of great value in his life, abandoned him and his sister, leaving them alone. He witnessed how people with values and wrong methods could destroy the lives of others. He saw the darkness within humans. When he read The Nameless Monster, he realized that Franz Bonaparte saw nothing of value in humanity and humaneness. He adopted Bonaparte's perspective and way of thinking. Now let's delve into philosophy. Friedrich Nietzsche, a famous philosopher, says, "When values become valueless or disappear, then nihilism arises. If you lose faith in God, what comes next? Yes, humans face a crisis of meaning, and that crisis is nihilism." That is enough to understand Johann's reality. When Johann transformed into a monster, he no longer saw anything of value in humans. But what is Dr. Tenma's role in this story? Dr. Tenma is a responsible individual who wants to destroy this monster, and on the other hand, Johann believes that Dr. Tenma is a special person, the only human who is worthy in Johann's eyes, someone who can free him from this pain and suffering, someone who can destroy the monster within him. Now, let's move on to the brief analysis of the anime. There are times in anime when it seems like the main storyline comes to a halt, and a new storyline with new characters is introduced. You might wonder why everything has veered off from the main plot, or when the story will return to its original path. However, the overall plot is much more complex and intricate than what you may have seen in other thrilling series like Alias, 24, or Lost. In Monster, the seemingly disjointed storylines play a crucial role in the grand scheme of the narrative, and in general, no scene or episode in the anime is insignificant. Characterization is key in Monster. Johann is the character who sets Dr. Tenma on his journey, and both characters are immensely important to each other as they fundamentally define one another. The anime doesn't skimp on presenting their characters in full detail. Every action they take, every line they speak, every expression they make brings them closer to their duality. The thematic exploration revolves around these characters, and the viewers become deeply invested in the decisions they make. The character development of Tenma and Johann is not easily dissected. It is a progressive journey. The supporting characters are just as essential because they serve as tools to help the anime reach a successful conclusion. Instead of merely being means to an end, the story is also about the instruments used to achieve that end. This is the crucial role that each complementary role plays in this anime. None of these characters are half-baked. They are carefully crafted and not only bring the main characters closer to reality, but also assist the viewers themselves. No one can feel indifferent towards the characters in this anime since the story and emotions are vividly portrayed. While the main characters undergo significant changes throughout the show, they remain loyal to their core spirits. Character construction and development in Monster are exceptional. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel to support us. Goodbye until another video.